We're back with our 2024 lead. A week from tomorrow, CNN will be in special coverage for election night. And there are a few things that you should be prepared for. It is, first of all, possible that there will be states we might not be able to call that night. That's because for many states, it takes time for them to tabulate all the ballots. And this has been historically, at least according to polls, a close race. It is also possible that former President Donald Trump will declare victory early before many crucial battleground state ballots have been even counted. We believe that that's possible because he did it 4 years ago. That was, in fact, a plan. It wasn't off the cuff. Remember, former Trump aide Steve Bannon discussed this plot just 3 days before Election Day in 2020, as Mother Jones magazine later reported.
And what Trump's going to do is just declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner.
And Trump did exactly that at about 2:30 Wednesday morning on November 4th, before the race was called, before ballot counts were even finished in critical battleground states, including Pennsylvania and Michigan. Trump prematurely claimed that he won the election.
We were winning everything, and all of a sudden it was just called off. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop.
Voting, of course, had stopped. The counting was still going on, but the voting had stopped, and Donald Trump had not won. These are all the projections that came after 5 a.m. Wednesday, November 4th. At 12:05 the next day, Maine was called for Biden. At 1:50 p.m. the next day, Wednesday, Wisconsin was called for Biden. At 4:15 p.m. Wednesday, Michigan was called for Biden. But still, there was no clear winner, because we did not know who won Arizona or Georgia or North Carolina or Nevada or Pennsylvania. It wasn't until Saturday, November 7th, 4 days after Election Day, at 11:24 in the morning East Coast time, that Pennsylvania was finally called for Biden, and that delivered him the 270 electoral votes needed to be president. And there were still 5 more projections to be made in several swing states, at least one of which Trump won. Hours after the presidency was called on November 7th, Nevada was called for Biden by a very narrow margin. More than a week after Election Day, Alaska was called on November 11th. Arizona was called for Biden on November 12th. On November 13th, Georgia was called for Biden. North Carolina was called for Trump. During this same time frame, the Stop the Steal movement that had been pushed by Trump's allies such as Roger Stone and Steve Bannon really took off among many of Trump's supporters. They protested at state capitals and at voting centers, demanding that there be a recount. They believed a lot of lies, that the election had been stolen from Trump. And as we know, the Stop the Steal movement led to one of the darkest days in American history, the U.S. Capitol insurrection on January 6, 2021. Fast forward to this election cycle. Former President Trump says he's only going to accept the election results if it's, quote, fair and legal. And he's continuing to cast doubt about the election results, including just yesterday at that rally in New York.
We must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her radical left agenda with a landslide that is too big to rig. We have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote in this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them.
But 1 week from tomorrow, I just want you all to be prepared. It could be a long election night that lasts for a week. We could know that night, and it could go for Trump. It could go for Harris. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. That depends on the actual votes, and we're going to cover the election no matter who wins. Whenever we project, and then we will bring that to you. But it's not based on any candidate, and it's not based on any artificial timetable.